Okay guys, this episode is going to be our finale episode for new construction. So have you ever heard the analogy of get it in where you can fit in? This is what this video is. I have been trying to get this video done all week for you guys, and I have finally had to say, now is the time. We're just leaving Top Golf, and I was like, let me get this video. So if this is your first time to my channel, Realtor Pamela Lewis, thank you for coming and check me out. If you've been here before and you've listened to my other videos, oh, so sweet. I so appreciate you coming back again to hear what I have to say. This episode is the steps on buying new construction. Wait for it. So once you find the home that you love, you have fell in love with a new construction home. That is so beautiful. So if you listen to my secret tips, you got to check out the reviews of the builder. Buying a new construction home is like dating. It's like getting married. It's like that commitment that you can let go later on if you decide you don't want to be in that commitment. So it really is like marriage, but hopefully that marriage is a lifetime. So you fell in love with the home, you looked at the reviews, you saw that the builder is a builder that you want to use to build your new home. Great. All right, so the next step is going to be is that you are going to now do a contract. Now, old school time is you would meet at the site with the site agent, but due to COVID, a lot of times they're not meeting at the site. They're having you to sign online. So remember, in my secret tips is get a copy of that contract. Know what you're signing so you can ask questions. So you are going to sign over the terms of the contract. Now, you should have your favorite agent or any other agent that you want to use, but hopefully you call your favorite agent and ask to negotiate the deal for you. So I can, or your agent that you prefer, can ask for any additional items that you want in the house. And that would reflect your purchase price. So let's just say the house is $399, so $400. So you have all your standard features, you fall in love with the standard features, but you also have your must-haves, your upgrades. Those are added into the contract and the purchase price, so those will be added in. And so you may be out of the door starting at $399. You may be out of the door at $425, just because of the upgrades that you want to get. Now, remember, secret tips is know what you want. So, couple of pointers for you. Electrical. Some builders don't put wiring in the middle of the wall for your TV. You want to ask for that. Especially in some of you are getting home offices versus living rooms. If you're going to have a TV in your home office, you want to make sure that's wired for that in the middle of it. Some of you all don't want a fireplace. I know some of you guys are like, ooh, I hate fireplaces. Well, I had a client a couple years ago, had a great idea, never thought about it, but they asked for the fireplace not to be put there and a custom bookshelf to be put there in place. Actually, no, theirs was a custom shelving unit because they were going to use that for their equipment for their TV. So that could be another option for you. So that's the negotiation part. Trying to think of some other things. The big thing is usually electrical with the TVs. If you're going to have, they might have ceiling fans, and maybe you like the remote ceiling fan, so you change that out. That's another feature. Oh, kitchen. So let's talk about appliances. They have appliances that are standard, but you may have, I had one a couple years ago where the client actually wanted to bring their own stove. They had this certain type of stove that they wanted. So they opt out of not having that stove, but they needed a custom measurement. So they had that design in place. Now that typically will be an extra cost to you because there's a risk for the builder to do a custom feature for you, and in the event, hopefully this never happens to you, but in the event that you don't close, they're stuck with that house with the custom feature that you wanted, And it's pretty hard sometimes to match up a new buyer with a custom feature that one buyer wanted. So yeah, so then you'll do the contract. You'll go through all of the upgrades you're going to have. You need to know how much earnest money deposit is required. Sometimes they have specials where if you're in the military, they'll just say $1 down or $100 or no earnest money deposit. But then the rest of us who are not military, like FHA or conventional, they could want $5,000 down. They could want $1,000 down. Sometimes a lot of builders want 10% of the upgrade price. And that is for those who don't close, because then the builder is stuck with that house with the upgrades buyer that you wanted, and you may want something that nobody else wants. So it costs them money to actually put in something else that somebody else is going to want. So now you've done your contract. You are fully under contract. You've already been pre-approved, because you wouldn't be doing a contract because the site agent's not going to let you do that. So now you're pre-approved. You have your contract. What is next, Realtor Pamela Lewis? Then the builders people are then going to go out for permits so they can start doing the foundation. They can actually pour the foundation. And this is the cool thing, is you are going to be driving by almost every day after work, or if you're working from home, you're going to make it some part of your routine where you're going to start driving by where nothing's happening. And the next thing you know, they get the permits and they can actually pour the foundation, and then they can start doing the framing. And that's when your house starts to come together, because you start seeing the framing, and they start doing all the electrical wiring, the plumbing. So from the time you do the contract until they do the foundation, I would say it's usually 30 to 45 days, and all depending on how quickly they can get the permits for starting the foundation. And then from there, you're rocking and rolling. That is when your time clock starts, and you have another about 5 months, all depending on the weather. All depending on the weather, because if you have bad weather, that is going to slow the process, and that typically will slow the process if you get in bad weather before they do the foundation, because you can't get the foundation going on a frozen ground. So I would say keep a copy of what your standard features are, keep a copy of what your upgrades are, because you're going to be nosy, and it is what it is. You're going to be nosy, and you're going to be checking off stuff. And I've had plenty of times where the buyers have found out that the contractors didn't put the right upgrades in. There's going to be a clause in your contract, most likely, that says do not step on the property, but you as a buyer are going to want to do it because you're just curious. You're so excited. So they've done that. They're building the house. They're getting all the stuff done. That's about 6 months. You'll see all that going. Now, if you have a great site agent, they will start to send you pictures of the process. And then some agents will also take pictures of the process too, in case the site agent doesn't, or you're going to be going by, so you're going to be seeing all that. So that's going to be cool. Then as they get to the end of the process, they're going to get a certificate of occupancy from the city or the county you're in. That's stating that the house is okay for someone to occupy or live in the home. At that point, they're going to start setting your closing date. Hopefully you've opted for doing a home inspection for your walkthrough. Some builders don't want to do home inspections and walkthroughs. They want to do all one at the same time. My philosophy on it is, yes, do the inspection before you actually move in. Some site agents are going to sell you on the fact of, hey, you could save some money and just do a home inspection when you move in, because we have this 1-year warranty that we're going to come out and fix if there's any problems. I find that if you do it before you close, it's kind of like a fast moving train, that you can get those items done quickly rather than waiting. And I'll tell you, I think I'm at 100%. Okay, so I'm back. So I actually got some client friends who got in the car, and you know what? Lo and behold, they bought new construction from me. Isn't that awesome? Hey, Sway, we can't see your face. That might be by design. What we can see is lovely wife's face, Kim. So we're at the process of the home inspection. Should you get the home inspection before you close, or should you wait? So You make the decision. I think you get the home inspection before you close because it's a fast moving train that they're most likely going to fix those items more quickly than you waiting and calling them and having them come out within that year. But with your walkthrough, just know this. They're going to give you this blue tape and you're going to tape every wall that you see an imperfection on. Don't be overwhelmed once you leave the house and you see that you probably have taped almost every inch of the wall. That is okay. That is okay. You're buying a very expensive product. You want to make sure everything is done correctly. I am very, I guess you would say, anal about the paint jobs because I think they need to be very detailed before you move in, because once you get your furniture in, it's going to be pretty tough to touch all that stuff up. So always look up and always look low for painting, making sure everything is connecting, making sure you don't have any drips of paint, because why are you going to have that on new construction? You're paying a lot of money for that home. So once you check out how all the builders, how all the subcontractors have done on their job, once the home inspectors come in and said, hey, everything's great, he won't. A home inspector finds everything. They always find something. There's always something wrong with something, because you got to remember, there's humans that are doing this stuff, and we as humans don't always do things perfectly. So things are done very quickly when you're putting up new construction. So there will be a problem. Don't stress about it. It'll get fixed, but just know about it and just make sure it does get fixed. All right. So then once all that's fixed, you usually will have a little time before you close to go back to verify that the stuff was done. There is going to be some times where you have probably a good list of stuff done, and there's maybe 2 or 3 things that are not done, and then the site agent, which the site agents typically live in the site, they got it pretty much going on. They got a nice house. It's usually the best house because they get to pick all the features, and they get to live there typically while the construction's going on. And it's pretty neat because they're there in the neighborhood and they get to meet everybody, and then they're available to get stuff fixed pretty quickly and watch everything. They're pretty much watching the builder's money. So they'll get you all the other stuff you need that's not done by closing. I try to make sure it's usually small ticket items and not big ticket items. And one cool thing is that site agent, or the maintenance, I call him site agent, but he's really the maintenance, the site maintenance person. He usually will have some contacts for some other items you may need, like fencing. He might know some people too that may be able to give you a discount or have a better rate price on stuff. So just remember that too. And then from there, once everything, it looks good to go in your opinion and you're ready to sign, then you'll go off to closing, and it'll be like a standard buyer closing on a house. It'll take you an hour typically to close, depending on how big your loan package is from whatever lender you're using. And then you'll get your keys in our area in the Commonwealth of Virginia, in the Hampton Roads area, I should say. I think Northern Virginia is a little different, but in our area, you'll get the keys the same day, and you'll be a homeowner for new construction. If you're going through the process, or when you do, congratulations. All right. Okay, so I'm asking my friends who were my clients, who bought new construction, what tips they have for new construction. So hold on, here we go. So what are you guys' tips?
Whatever questions or doubts you might have, make sure you say them out loud to your realtor.
That's good. I like that. What you got over there?
So when you're getting your house inspected, make sure you check your roof. Make sure that when they were doing new construction and they were putting the new roof on, that they didn't put any holes in your roof and didn't fill them.
What?
Because we had that happen.
What?
Check your doors, like your door to your garage, the door to the front door. Make sure it seals all the way around. When the door is closed, make sure there's no gaps or anything.
Who do you guys have? Chesapeake Homes? So these are Chesapeake home buyers. So you guys can get these tips if you're trying to buy from Chesapeake home buyers. Especially then, I told you guys, check out these builders and see what they're doing.
I don't.
So you make sure that home inspector goes up on that roof and check to make sure the nail holes they put in, they seal around them. or if they punctured any other holes, make sure they seal around them. That's a good point. So home inspectors typically will do a visual inspection from the ground up. There are a few inspectors that will actually walk the roof. So Sway brought a good point. If you know your inspector, once you make the appointment, ask them what type of roof inspection do they do. If you find out they do a visual from the ground up, make sure your realtor knows that. Your realtor would then hopefully know somebody that does roofing, and roof inspections are free. They can come out and evaluate to ensure that whoever, the subcontractor who did the roof, that they did it correctly. That's a good point. Well, I'll make sure that happens for the next few people. In the garage, there's actually garage door companies. I think they're probably charged. I think I have a few that might actually do for free. So I guess it would be a good point to find out who installed the garage doors, what companies, because it may not be a company, it may just be a contractor. And then definitely the seals on the door. Isn't that like, shouldn't they already know how to do that? So yeah, that's not good. So you've heard for some buyers that did Chesapeake homes, so you guys know what to look forward to or look at when you go to their sites. Not saying they're bad, I'm just saying some things you need to know, because it's not always the builders, it's the subcontractors they use to do the stuff. Anything else?
No, that's all.
You heard it here. This is great. Home buyers that bought new construction. All right. So if you have any questions, send me a message. My contact information is below in the comments. Send a email to me, SOS me, text me, whatever. Give me a thumbs up if this video has helped you. If you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe. And like my son said in the previous videos, is hit that bell, boom, so you can get notified every time a new video comes out. All right, guys. Thanks again for checking out this video, and I appreciate you.